Hello everyone, this is a Nebula Mars Pro 2 and it doesn't work. Whenever I turn it on like that, well, it used to like turn on for 30 seconds and then turn off. I used to have it plugged in or else it wouldn't work. But even if it plugged it in, sometimes it would like reset after a little bit. It would turn on and reset, turn on and reset. Eventually it just stops doing that. What I found is that if I take the power cord and I wiggle it a little bit, it'll turn on, but then I'll just go into the reset, right? And it might not stop. So I started suspecting because I wiggle it, maybe there's something wrong. Never dropped it, but just something about it told me that something was loose. I bought it in US. I live in Europe. Technically, if you take it out of the country, you're voided of the warranty anyway. I was considering flying it to a friend in the US, having him turn it in for the warranty, because I am within a year, but it just seemed like such a hassle. So I opted just to open it myself and see if I can figure it out. I know I've been online, and I know a lot of people say it just resets. It goes for 30 seconds and then resets. It goes for 30 seconds and resets. And it's the same problem that I have. And I assume that I'm not the only one with this problem. So I opened it up. If I hadn't voided the warranty by taking it out of the country, it's certainly voided now. I took it out. Most of it is missing. So now I'll show you what I have going on here. So first off, the way I took it off, because you should really know this in case you want to try this. You know what? I'm just going to go right into it. You want to know what the problem is? I figured out the problem, I think. When I wiggle the power cord, which is this, I have to be careful because that soldering iron is hot, and I will be using it. This. And I plug it into the back, and I sort of wiggle it, it will go into the reset mode. Sometimes it'll stay on, and so it really felt like something was loose. So I would plug it in. It's not connected to the cord. So I'd plug it into here. Here's sort of what it looks like in the back. So I've plugged it in here, and here's what I found. And this is probably very common. You see that connection point there? It's not, hopefully it, anyways, if I lift it, it's not turned on. I really wish this would be better. Let's try to zoom in and see what happens. See that connection point? It's not touching. See? There you go. That has broken a solder. And so you wiggle it and it'll touch. Well, and if it touches, guess what? It's got a little bit of power. It's going to try to turn on because it thinks you plugged it in. But then you let it go. And the reason it resets is because it doesn't have enough power in the battery, because this hasn't been touching for a while and the battery is dead. And if you hold it down, maybe you press it. I don't know if this is the same problem everyone else has, but this is certainly the problem that I had. I found this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just solder it and see what happens. That's it. That's my issue. I'm going to try to show you how to put it back together, because I don't have a video of taking it apart. And then maybe if you have the same problem, you might be able to, you know, maybe if it's out of warranty, I really recommend you just send it to Mars. But if you just can't deal with that, and I've heard that they don't respond very well, very quickly, then maybe you might try your hand at this. So I'm going to go ahead and try to solder it now. Here's my soldering iron. Very rudimentary, very hot. Here's my soldering wire, and here's my work. So wish me luck. I'm not going to show you how to solder. There's plenty. I'm going to do it badly because I'm not very good at it, but there's plenty of videos on YouTube to show you how to solder two things. I'll see you again once it's soldered. All right, so I've done an awful job soldering. In fact, I'm so bad at it because I don't do it very often. I'm not even sure why I own a solder. That it looks like this. I don't know if I burned the circuit to the point of disrepair. But what had happened is, you know, most of these things like this, you see those rods, they go all the way down, and then they solder to the backside, right? You have sort of these soldering points. Well, in this case, this is a soldering point of the other side, and that's just solder. The rod that goes through that you're supposed to solder through the circuit basically broke off, and it wouldn't stick. So I had to take tweezers, pull it out, and you see how much melting there is there? I really hope I didn't screw this up. I think it's okay. It's not touching the other metal part, and it did connect on the other side. So we're gonna try to plug this back in and see what happens. Okay. Well, first I'll let you know. The first thing I do is I'm gonna put this through here, and there's a lot of cords to pass through. In particular, this metal one here has to go through that slot. And actually, this is upside down. It will go this way. And then I'll connect all the pieces here. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 connection points. And then there's a cord that's sort of loose around here, which will be 11. I'll go through them once I have this in. So far, I've taken only a couple screws off. The first thing I'm going to put back on is this. This goes over here to protect it, probably to prevent it from breaking like it did anyway. And then these two screws. So let's put those in now. Okay, I've installed it. Now I'm going to slip this in and make sure that all the cables go through it. Okay, I've passed it through, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess I only had 10 cords. I may have miscounted. Oh, and there's 11 here, and that's actually the top. We'll put that in last. Just so you know, when I took this apart, you'll see there's a bunch of glue that they used there. I don't know if you can see that, but especially here, you can see how that top has like a little bit of rubber on it. I had to break that. They put that on a lot, almost all of them, and I had to break it. See, you see here again. So when you take it apart, you will have to do that. I'm going to put them all in very carefully, and I'll show you what it looks like if you were to take this apart. Okay, I had to actually take this off again because I forgot to put the middle point here. So I had to take it off, feed it through, and then I put the screws on. So 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. And let's count all the cables that I need to plug in. 1, 2, 3, which is this gray one. 4, which is this blue one. 5, which is this green one. This black corner one is 6. This red one is 7. This antenna there goes here. It's 8. And then I have 9 for this black one here. 10. And then I guess 11 here with that one. Alright, let's plug, I guess, and if you count the top here, that will go in here for a total of 12. So let's plug this in. And then we're going to test it out before we close everything back. Okay, I've plugged everything in. I haven't put it back together yet because I want to test it before I do that. One thing is, as I plugged in all these cables, the fan started turning because obviously there is a battery in there that has some power. I got a little scared because I didn't think the fan should be on. I'm still a little scared. I am going to show you one thing before I continue. I told you that there was like glue that they put on these things, right? And see, you can see it there. So if I were to take this out, this glue's already broken. But if I were to take this out, you would see Hold on, I want to make sure that I'm very careful here after I did all that work. Anyways, see, I've taken that glue out as an example. I'd actually, see how it breaks? Because it's just rubber. And obviously you take that out and then you can take this apart. I'm not going to take it apart because I'm just not going to take that risk. It looks like it's a little bit difficult to take off while I'm on recording. But just to give you an indication of what you will see this glue here used to go all the way across. I've broken it in order to get these out. Not all of them had it. I don't think this red, green and blue ones had it, but a lot of them did. And that's something that you will see when you get in there. See, I've broken a bunch of the glue there. Be very careful. These are very thin wires. In fact, I recommend that none of you do this. This is ridiculous that I even opened this. It's a $500 device within the first year. But in case you guys are out of warranty and you want to fix it and it's not working the same way I see a bunch not working online, this is what I did. Okay, so what I've done is I've plugged it in, and it's doing something that it wasn't doing before. This. Notably, it now blinks when it's charging, and it wasn't doing that before. It just wasn't. Like if I wiggled it around, sometimes that light would turn on white, but now it's not. I think this means that it's working. We're gonna open the lens and see what happens. Oh, there it is. If it turns on to the home screen to a point where it runs, it will have done more than it's done in several months. So I've had it in my place, planning to send it back to the US and to get the warranty and everything, but I just didn't want to deal with it, you know? I've talked about that more. Let's start. I think it was doing this about this long earlier, but it never got to the home screen. It didn't get there. Let's see, make sure all the cables are working. I have my remote here. This is fantastic. I have not been here in a long time. The remote works, the sound works, the audio works. I'm sorry, the sound and the video works, obviously. This is it. I don't know why I just reset like that. Ooh, I hope that's not something I broke. It very well could be. But that's it. I'm going to put this back together. I'm going to show you how to put it back together first, actually. I'm going to first unplug it. See the battery's got nothing on it. I'm going to close it just to turn it off. I'm going to wait till this fan stops turning, and then we're going to put it on. Okay, I'm going to stop recording for a second just so I can get things situated. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'll tell you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back. In fact, that's something I can do now. You'll notice these are tabs. There's no screws. I've already put all those 4 screws that you saw were the main screws. The screws to put in the bracket on the plugs was there, and I'm sure that's to include string. And then there is one more set of screws, those that are there just to protect that, to keep that plugged in. I'll put that in and then we'll continue. And after that, those are the only screws. I was able to take this off and this off without any screws. What I did was I just got into the edge here between it and poked it out. I got lucky a little bit. Just so you know how many tabs there are and where they are. There's 1, 2, 3 tabs on the sides. Same on the other side. 1, 2, 3 tabs. And there's 2 tabs on top and 2 tabs on bottom. That gives you an indication of where they were. You just pop one out, next one comes out, next one comes out. Just like you'd imagine it works. In the top here, I'm not actually sure what was keeping it in place. I think it was it's these little tabs. What I did was I started at the corner and I lifted it out, and this was a lot harder. I thought, like, oh, I really hope I don't break it, but you'll see where the tabs are here. So if you just manage to lift this high enough, And so I went into the edge here with a very, very thin screwdriver, and I just sort of popped it out. And it pops out maybe a millimeter, but you can hear the pop. You hear pop, go around to the next one. When it gets too tight, just twist the screwdriver and it'll pop, and just keep doing that all the way around. Eventually it'll come out. Be very careful because this is attached, so you have to slide this out, detach it, and then continue sliding it out. You can't slide it out without detaching this part, and there is going to be glue, so be very, very careful. So what is, oh yeah, I'm going to put these screws back on now. Okay, I put those screws on. Now I'm going to attach this. In fact, I'm going to detach this. I don't want to pull it on those cables. I've done work with small circuits before, just DIY work, and I know how easy it is to, sorry, nice shot of my Crocs. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not gonna record this. This is too sensitive. Eventually I'm gonna take my fingernail and on one side and a screwdriver in there, and I'm gonna pop it out. But before that, actually, let's pop this in. This will be easy enough to show. I mean, it should just pop in there. Actually, I'm gonna unplug that. I don't want to risk it. I figured since I've started unplugging, I went from one side, I took it out. There. Just wanted to show you since I thought I could. And it might be helpful. Okay, so that's out. There's no little less risk of ruining something here. I'm gonna put them in on one side like that, and I'm just gonna try to pop it in with one hand. So, okay, so it's fairly simple. There you go. And then just to give you an idea of how I took it out, it's very fine, but I did exactly what you think I would do. I just managed to get a really, really thin piece, and I just shimmied it in there, and eventually just popped it out. It was a little scary. I didn't know that would work. And I tried to find a disassembly video online. I didn't find it, but I did find, I think it was the filing, some patent filing or device filing, the FCC, did have pictures of it broken down, and I noticed that this didn't have any screws, which is what gave me the confidence to try to find the tabs. In fact, the pictures show that it does have tabs. That's why I was comfortable doing that. Semi-comfortable. Okay, let's put that top on. Here's how you do it. And so the reverse is going to be how you take it off. You very carefully slide it here, and eventually, once you slide it in, you pop it off. Pop it all back in. So I'm going to put this in first, very carefully, with one hand, because I'm a fool. Really want to get it in there. Okay, that's in there. Now I'm going to, what am I doing here? Sorry, I'm trying to, okay. So there are pieces that you have to watch out for. Okay, there. Just to give you an idea, what I did was, when I took it off, I went in here, twist. Once it got too tight, twist. I did it with a slightly larger, this is too small. I did it with something slightly larger. I think I did it with this one. Twist, 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 twist. Very methodically and very carefully all the way around. Now, I do the opposite. I think I just shove it in. Okay. That's it. I did it. I would show you how to take it apart, but I am not going to take this apart again. It's too risky. Let's plug it in. Let's see if I can feel the fan coming on. There it is. I feel the fan, and in fact, it's charging. Is it? Yes. Just turn it on. Fantastic. That responsiveness is absolutely new. I would have had to wiggle this, so I normally like really jam it up or jam it down. I did all kinds of things because I didn't know what was causing it. Sometimes the HDMI is what I would move, not knowing that it was actually probably moving the power. The power connector, or I don't know what you would call it. This is great. Okay, that's it. That's how I fixed it. I mean, I just literally, you saw me, I fixed it 30 minutes ago. All in all, I've been out here maybe an hour and 40 minutes, including the recording of these videos. So I'm pretty happy. I'm actually really stoked. I hope this is helpful to any of you willing to do this. At the very least, you can see what it looks like on the inside if you're ever curious to remove it for some other reason. Disassembly is fairly simple once you understand how to do it, but it does require a lot of care. As you can see, the circuit board had 12 connections, all of them very delicate, very fine. So if you do take this on, I wish you lots of luck, and I'm sorry that you had to do this, but I'm glad that you have a video that might be helpful. Thank you. Bye.